What's going on, you guys? My name is Kristen Marie. I'm a licensed esthetician, an educator and a mentor, a YouTuber, and a mom. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. But before we dive in, you guys already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button if you're an esthetician or an aspiring esthetician or you love skincare. That is all welcome here. As you guys know, I keep it real and raw with you here on my channel. And occasionally I'll do these episodes that I call Real Talk to give you life updates, to give you tips, and just to let you guys know kind of what's going on in behind the scenes. You guys know I try to keep you up to date as much as I can on YouTube, on now my vlog channel as well, on Instagram. I have a personal and a business Instagram and a business Instagram. So if you're not already following me on all of my platforms, feel free to check out my info down below, as well as my resources that I offer. I offer coaching, online classes, you name it, Amazon storefront. It's all down below for you guys. In this episode, like I said, I call it Real Talk. I'm going to be giving you some updates on how basically I think the last time I talked to you guys was about my grandmother, actually. So if you haven't watched the episode already, I will be addressing and updating you on her. And like I said, just life and how the summer went and what's coming and all that good stuff. So if that interests you, then go ahead and keep on watching. I'm going to be honest with you guys, as I said I would be. It has been definitely an emotional last few months. I don't know what has been in this air or what I'm supposed to be learning right now. I mean, I do know, but I don't know, because I think you've all probably experienced this in life where things happen and it almost comes like in a flood. Why? You know, things are going so well in certain aspects and things are chaotic in other aspects, and I'm realizing that that's just how life is. I mean, I'm 31 years old, for those of you guys who don't know. I've been on this planet for 31 years, and it never ceases to surprise me every time where I have to stop and be like, that's life. What lesson are you supposed to be learning right now? How can you grow? How can you do better? And so just a quick update on my grandmother. She is living in a care home now. She is doing fine. I think mentally, she's just trying to accept her situation. And, you know, she's been an independent firecracker ever since I can remember. And it's been tough. It's been tough to see her in this place where she just doesn't want to be. She wants to live in her home. She doesn't want to live there. Thankfully, my dad lives very close by, so she's not by herself a lot. I'll admit, it's been a little while since I've seen her because I've gone on a handful of trips, and it's just, life has just been back to back to back lately for me. And so I do plan on seeing her actually this coming weekend. And it's my son's birthday, actually. He's going to be turning 4 years old, which is insane to think that 4 years has just gone by like that. This little life that God blessed me with is just growing so rapidly before my eyes. And I just have to keep reminding myself, like, enjoy it, soak it in. Everybody keeps saying it goes fast. So the point of me sharing that is to remind you to make sure that you're present with the people that are around you, especially you moms out there. I know that doing what we do can be really time consuming. Being a solo esthetician or an entrepreneur or a business owner, you name it, no matter what job it is, to be honest. You know, it doesn't even have to be an esthetician. Being a parent and a working parent is very challenging, and I got to see that this past summer. This was actually my first summer where Devin was on a school schedule. For those of you who don't know, my son does have some speech delays, cognitive delays, and so he's in a special ed program through the city that we live in. And so he goes to school from, August to June, basically, like a regular school year. And his program is from 9 to 1 every day. So about a half day, and then he had a little bit of summer school, and his schedule was from 9 to 12. Throughout this season, I've definitely seen I've had to make some adjustments to my schedule, which I've been very thankful for, that I've been able to make those adjustments and still be able to pay the bills and keep things going. It is still, at the end of the day, like stressful, because I've lost clients because of my availability. I've not been able to get, probably a handful of clients that I could have if I did have the availability. And I've dabbled with myself trying to figure out if I should open up Saturdays again or different, you just go through all of these struggles as a parent, figuring out like how much time you should put toward your job that puts food on the table, the roof over your head, but also, the quality time. Kids just need that quality time, especially at that age. And I just remember growing up, to be honest. I grew up with a single dad, and he raised both me and my brother. He gave us everything we needed, I will say that, and I do occasionally text him and I say, thank you, Dad, so much, especially being a single parent now as well. I can understand his struggle a bit more, and I think at the time when I was young, I didn't really understand, but now as I'm older, I've definitely started to understand the struggle more, and the balance is so fine. There's just this like slight movement on one side, and the other side seems to go like this. Being a single parent, especially, has been a challenge. And yeah, I remember my dad just like going to work and coming home, and he'd make dinner and he'd play with us, and he was just, he was our rock. But there were moments when I was involved in different activities where, I was like in gymnastics or I was in swimming or something, and he wasn't able to come to those events where I'd have like a meet or I'd have a recital because he had to work. And we were definitely watched by different people constantly, my family or friends, church friends. And that was kind of difficult to understand as a child, and feeling like, where's my dad? Why isn't he around? Why can't he come to this? And so that always kind of stuck with me, and that always was the thought in my head regarding, being a single parent and also being a working parent. I don't want my child to feel like I'm not present with him, or I'm working too much, or I'm missing out on the moments that he feels like I should be there for him. And so I think the past couple years, and even right now, because I've had many discussions about this with family, with friends, because people will insert their opinions and say, oh, well, you should do this or you should do that. But truly, like, nobody knows your schedule at the end of the day. Nobody knows your struggle at the end of the day. And so I've had to make some tough decisions that maybe not everybody agrees with, but I think I'm doing my best, like I said, to kind of like balance this teeter-totter. And so I feel like right now where my head is at with being a parent and a working parent is to try to make the sacrifices for a period of time. And then as my son gets more involved in activities and all that, like I definitely want to be there. Like I crave being able to pick him up from school. I crave being able to take him to activities. Like I want to be that annoying soccer mom in the stands screaming her head off for a kid. That's just always been what I wanted. I've always wanted a boy to do that, because I was a huge tomboy growing up, so I loved sports. Hey, maybe if I had a daughter too, she'd love sports too, but I have a son, and that was always a dream of mine to have a son. And I just feel like having a son kind of, gives you a different type of energy, which, speaking of energy, the kid has crazy amounts of energy. So I will say, he definitely tops mine every time. But yeah, so that's the kind of the season I've been in as a parent, is just trying to find that balance between your dreams and your own desires and accomplishments, and then also your dreams and desires as a parent and for your child, and being able to provide for your child. And especially during the summer, he wasn't in school as much, and so I definitely had to pull back a little bit. We did thankfully get to go on some really fun trips together. We went on a cruise with our family. Check out the vlog. And me and Devin went to LA the other weekend, and I've been on a couple of trips with some girlfriends, and so that's been nice. That's, to kind of give you a background on that, is I feel like throughout my whole 20s, and yeah, mainly my 20s, I was in college. I was working. I was, I had my son. There was a short period of time where I did kind of feel like I got to like get out there and, you know, and all throughout, obviously, like, I wasn't home all the time, but I will say, like, I was just always doing other things to support myself. And so I finally feel like I've been in a time where I'm like, wow, you know, I've been able to accomplish X, Y, and Z. I've been able to save money in the bank. I've got great employees working for me. I've got a support system. I'm going to enjoy myself. I want to travel. I want to, you know, especially too, being single. And yes, you guys, I have been dating again, and that has been a journey in itself. And, you know, it's interesting to meet people in their walks of life and also try to match your life with theirs. And so I will say I'm still single, still figuring it out. But I will say that I'm trying to also enjoy being single and be out with the girls and dress up, look cute, and just enjoy life. And again, too, there's a balance to that as well. And so I feel like this has been a season of enjoying the fruits of my labor, and then also learning, like, hey, you know what, you still got responsibilities, you still got to be a parent, you still got a business, like, you still got employees. But again, I'm so thankful that I've had a pretty good, like, support system and people that I can rely upon during this time. Yeah, this summer has been just full of highs and lows. And this is the part where I feel a little bit like I've been scared to talk about this. I've had to get myself into a much better headspace before I made this part of the video, or just even a touch base at all with you guys, because there was a period of time for a few weeks there. This was, you know, a few weeks back, but it was a good, like, 2-3 weeks where, and I don't know, I'm sure you guys have noticed that I haven't been as active on my pages, like my social media, Instagram pages, and on YouTube. I've been just doing, like, my once a week video and calling it a day, and that's it. I even had a week where I didn't film and I didn't post anything because I just needed that mental break because of the things that were going on and the thoughts that were going in my head. And again, the reason why I gave you the background of everything else that had been going on was because I just want you to remember that I'm human at the end of the day. I keep saying that in pretty much all my real talk videos. Like, I'm human. I have real life things going on. We all do. We're all in different walks of life. We're all trying to just get through each day and keep positive. And I decided when I started this channel to make it so that I could leave some sort of legacy behind, because one day I won't be here, okay? And I want to be able to look back at my life when I'm old and gray and say, wow, I influenced people positively. And sometimes when you're given this role, especially in our day and age, this wasn't around. This hasn't been around for very long. So this is all new to a lot of us. And there's been people that have been given that role that have not acted responsibly with the power that you receive when you gain a platform like this. And then there's some that have, you know, done a lot of good things. And so just know at the core of my being that I started this with the intention of making a positive impact and seeing others be successful, like truly, truly, truly at the end of the day. And I will keep reminding you if you need that reminder, because I think sometimes, you know, you look at somebody on the camera like how I am, and you forget that they're a real person. They have, you know, real emotions. And actually, I know a lot of people who are in the industry, who do music, who do social media, who are athletes, who are artists. I know a lot of people in that kind of realm, and they're seriously just people at the end of the day. It really is a reminder that, like, all these people that have these spotlights on them are real people, and what they choose to share with us is filtered. It's just to obtain an image. It's just to, you know, like, put a smiley face on for everything. And again, I'm here to remind you that social media is not an what is that saying? A tell-all be-all. So just because you see me thriving and doing well and whatever on social media, don't assume that I don't still have other things going on, that I'm not, you know, feeling lonely, that I'm not feeling defeated, that I'm not feeling exhausted, because I feel those emotions quite often. And I definitely have had to take some time to acknowledge like how far I've come, but also acknowledge those emotions too, because it's not healthy to just keep shoving them down, shoving them down. And so with all that being said, there were some things that came up specifically with my online courses. And I'm not going to get into like specific details of the people involved or what happened, but it really put me in a really bad place when it came to continuing making videos or online courses or coaching or really anything media related. I had a few moments where I was like, F this. Why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself out there to be criticized, to be looked under a microscope? And you know, the time and the energy that it takes to make these videos. I've tried to really show you guys the real and the raw. You guys have seen how I make YouTube videos, how I make facial videos. I just posted my day in the life of an esthetician recently, which didn't even remotely capture, even though it was pretty accurate. It still does not capture the like day to week to month like life of Kristen Marie, honestly. I swear sometimes I wish I had like a full-on TV show like the Kardashians, but you know, things are just gonna get cut out and you don't really get to see the real of the real. And so there's only a handful of people in my life right now that actually see the day-to-day struggle, and Alexa being one of them, and you know, Kristen being here at the studios. But really, truly, like Alexa, the one who's been helping me with my son and doing some marketing work for me, like she's really seen the day-to-day struggle, and she's been part of that. She's been watching Devin for multiple hours a day, several times a week. So to see me go through what I went through, she just reminded me, like, hey, it's okay. It's normal. Like, being in this position where you've reached a certain amount of people, not everybody's going to be satisfied. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to agree with what you're doing. And I think that was one of my biggest fears, kind of getting into YouTube or Instagram or anything public, because, again, you're under a microscope and people just feel a lot more bold online to say certain things. So I've had to have this fine balance of staying professional and not having an emotions attached to it, but then also still like being understanding and also being real with myself and with you guys, and then too, like, standing up for myself. So I'm sorry, maybe sometimes there's like a comment or a message I'll receive and I will say something if it's out of line sometimes. So just know, like, there's a fine balance to that as well, and I've been learning that too. But I had to go through kind of a period of time where I really was like, should I keep doing this? Is it helping enough people? Are people really truly thinking that I'm doing this just for myself or for money or whatever it is that some people think that I'm doing this for? Because guys, like, the amount of work and energy that goes into doing this is unmatched. Like, I don't even know how full-time influencers do it. And thankfully I have a team around me, but still, you know, everybody's learning along this journey. I'm learning, and, you know, I'm gonna have to learn how to allocate things in a certain way where maybe I don't need to face these things directly as much, because it does affect me. I'm a Pisces, guys. Like, I'm really a people pleaser. I'm emotional at the core, but I'm a Taurus rising, so I have this like outward appearance of being hard and, you know, like tough, and but it does affect me. It really does, to have anybody question my character or what my intentions were behind offering the course. Now, I do plan on doing a updated video about my course, specifically my skincare training course that I started offering this year. It is currently closed. I did close my courses for a period of time to, number one, like make updates, because I realized, like, you know, documents need to be updated, maybe the descriptions and all that need to be updated, and then specifically the skincare course, I'm still like finalizing how I'm deciding to proceed with it. I'm not currently accepting students for that other than the ones that I've already been working with at this point. I will obviously keep you updated. I'm thinking next week will be my video where I do an updated guidelines and outline of what the course entails, and I will be addressing certain things in that video that I think if you're interested, you're going to need to hear and you're going to need to consider enrolling into the class. So, but the reason why I'm bringing that up is because, I just want to remind you that I truly care. I have been given feedback, good and bad, mostly good, like seriously, like 99% good. So I've had to just tell myself mentally, like, focus on the good, but also take what you can learn from the negative feedback. And I'm not perfect, guys. I'm not going to make everybody happy, but I am going to be fair. And so just know that that has been my feeling and emotions behind that as well. Anyways, I am feeling a lot better. There's still some things going on, as always. That's how life is. But I do feel a bit motivated again. I do feel like I just had to have like a real talk with myself, talk with others, talk with some of my mentors, and also too, like, read your guys' comments that are positive, and I mean, countless times I get messages and comments from you guys that are so touching, and, you know, saying like, you know, your videos changed my life and you started my journey. And seriously, like, right now, if you can, comment below in any way, a piece of encouragement for me, or a way that I have impacted you with this channel, because I need to hear it. I do take that as feedback, and so I'd appreciate some love and support right now, and you guys are always having my back on that, so thank you. I'm gonna close out the video with this. Keep on watching, because this is something you might need to hear and you might relate to as part of my story. So I've shared with you guys how I started and how I worked at a high-end spa and then started working for myself at some point. Feedback I've gotten from students is that, you know, they got a lot on their plate. They're going through, you know, this transition, and it's scary, and you're not making a lot of money. And trust me, I've been there. I really hope you guys know that. I was working 3 jobs at one point and going to school. So I was making a minimum wage. I was working at a club. And even just in the training process for the spa that I worked at, they did not compensate me for any of the driving I did, any of the gas. I had to show up in LA. And if you guys live in California or LA, you guys know the traffic situation. I used to have to leave Orange County to go to LA at 4:35 in the morning, Monday through Friday, for 2 months during this training period. And thankfully I had someone I could carpool with. God bless you. You know who you are. I had a carpool with her, and even in the carpool lane, there was still mad traffic. So by the time we would get to our destination, we would literally park in front of the training building, and we would sleep. And then we'd have maybe like 20 or 30 minutes of a nap, and then we'd get up and we'd do training till, I think, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then we'd get off and we'd be in traffic again. So there was traffic on the way there, on the way back. None of it was being compensated. I was getting paid minimum wage, no tips, because we weren't working on clients. And then sometimes I actually would leave the training to go work in West Hollywood. Yeah, guys, I know what it's like to be tired. I know what it's like to make sacrifices in this industry. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm a parent, and I have employees. Like, to tell me that you're busy and you're struggling and all this and that, I get it. I understand more than you know. I've had those days where I was like, why am I doing this? Even during the pandemic, when everything shut down, I definitely had to struggle during that period of time. I was still working at the spa, and I had the idea of opening up my own space, and I was barely going to make bills that month. I was going to have to ask my grandma for money, to be honest, during that time. So trust me. And I had a 6-month-old son at the time. So I just want to remind you that I'm human. I have gone through a handful of struggle just being in this industry and getting to where I'm at now. Even still struggle. I am still struggling to grow, to learn, to become worthy of an even bigger business, an even bigger platform. And yeah, I've had to wrestle with myself a little bit about whether or not I've wanted to continue doing this. And I needed to have that time. And so I ask you to please be understanding if maybe you see me kind of disappearing here and there. I'm doing my best. And again, just keeping it real and raw with you. I am still here though. I showed up today, and I encourage you to continue to show up, because I actually did a lot of things during this period that kept things going. And you're not always going to want to wake up and do things when you're depressed, when you're struggling with money, or you have screaming kid running around. Trust me, I know. It's hard to get out of bed sometimes, but you gotta just give yourself maybe that one day to log off completely. Like seriously, put away your laptop, put away your phones, put everything away. Be by yourself. Ask someone to watch your kid for you, or your pet, whoever. Like, just be by yourself and just rest and clear your head, journal, listen to music, whatever it is. Go for a drive. I love going for drives. I've been going on drives and going to the beach and hikes. I really connect with nature in that way. And so I encourage you to do that. Make time for yourself and get yourself that time of rest that you need. And then get up the next day and go at it again. I'm right there with you. You're not alone. And I really... Sorry. I know there's someone watching this that needed to hear that. You got this. Seriously. I'm here for you. And this community is here for you. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button if you enjoyed this. And I promise to keep you guys posted and updated as things unfold. And I know deep down in my heart that I was supposed to make this video, that there's even more to come, that there's still going to be hard days ahead. There's going to be great days ahead, hard days ahead, you name it. It's all coming. But I do believe that a lot of good is going to come out of this, and I'm just going to keep pushing forward, and I want you to keep pushing forward. So I love you. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.